Back in the building once again. Fly Free Sports playoff edition, another special playoff edition. Back in the building with my esteemed co-host, Ben. What's going on, man?
Hey man, what's going on, man? We're ready to talk these sports, ready to talk this basketball. I know you got a lot to get off your
Yeah, man.
chest.
It's
So
I do. I do. I really do, man. It's been one of them weeks for me. I just been super frustrated. Like I told them niggas yesterday, they lucky I had therapy yesterday, so I wasn't as edgy as I could have possibly been, but nonetheless, they still been pissing me off. So I'm gonna get it off my chest. And tonight is the
it's
night.
hilarious.
Uh this has just been a week of niggas overrating shit as normal. Making excuses and nobody's allowed to have an opinion. Just the normal par for the course 2024 bullshit. So
Yeah.
I've been on the edge all week, man, to say the least. This has been frustrating in the world of entertainment and sports. So I'm gonna start off with LeBron Ramon James.
Man, you pulled out the middle name. I know this about to be good.
Why is it that every time LeBron loses, I want you to answer this question. This is not rhetorical.
Okay, all right.
Why does every time LeBron James lose a playoff series, it automatically has to be someone else's fault, whether it's the coach, whether it's his co-star, whether it's a role player we knew wasn't shit in the first place, but somehow gets blamed as if we didn't know that he wasn't shit already. Why is that? Can do you have any insight as to why that is?
Yeah, I think it's LeBron is a media darling. Let's start there. LeBron is a media darling that gets a disproportionate amount of media coverage, right? He has declared himself to be the greatest player of all time, right? He is the first like legendary basketball player I'm aware of that has done that in a serious tone, right?
Yes.
Like you've heard Mike joke about it, you've heard Kobe joke about it, but LeBron actually believes that he's the greatest of all time. At least that's the way the interview came across to me, right? And you said this in a Facebook post. He's basically the co-GM of every team he's been on since he started. So if you're the best player in the world and you're the GM of the team, it can't possibly be your fault when you lose. It can't. It's not my fault. I'm out. I'm still the best player on my team at 39 years old. So it can't possibly be my fault. Now, I think that there are a lot of people who did not grow up watching Michael Jordan that want LeBron to be the new Jordan, right? Because
that's where I was going with it right there. That's exactly where I was going with it.
They want him to be the new, because players are supposed to get eclipsed. When you look at every major sport, there are legends that have records and things that will always be in the foreground. But for example, you don't hear big time baseball players being compared to Babe Ruth anymore,
right?
Or really even like Hank Aaron, right? Like there's an eclipsing that occurs where, okay, Babe Ruth was a legend, Hall of Famer in his day. Hank Aaron's a Hall of Famer in his day, but now it's about Shohei, it's about Aaron Judge and the current crop of guys, right? Football, you don't really hear about Joe Brown. Is that his name?
Jim Brown.
Jim Brown. Man, my brain is failing me.
You
don't really hear about Jim Brown anymore.
We got you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. You don't really hear about Jim Brown anymore, right? Jerry's kind of an exception because he's just, he's Jerry Rice, right? You still hear his name tossed around now and then, but there's still kind of an eclipsing that's occurring where, it's all about Brady now. Like Montana was great in his day, but it's about Brady now. He's the new GOAT. In basketball, we haven't seen anyone successfully eclipse Jordan because nobody cares about any of the great players that came before Jordan did. Jordan set a new high water mark for the NBA.
Right.
The media desperately wants LeBron to be the player that eclipses him, right? In a way that Kobe could not eclipse him. Now, Kobe was kind of hamstrung by all the allegations and the stuff that went down in Colorado.
Yes,
that brought his star down unfairly. But Kobe also conceded that he stole all of Jordan's moves and that he was inspired by him.
Mm-hmm.
So Kobe wasn't going to allow the eclipsing to happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Last thing I'll say, then I'll let you cook. A good friend of mine that was a college basketball player and now coaches basketball. He posted something on Facebook that said he's never seen a pair of fake LeBrons.
Right.
That cements the argument right there.
Hell yeah. I never thought of that. I never thought of that in my life.
Nobody's trying to counterfeit your shoes.
At all. Nobody cares, nigga. Nobody fucking cares.
Again, he's the best player in his generation, right? He was the most hyped rookie in the history of the NBA and lived up to all of the hype. He, multiple championships. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's one of the top 5 of all time. None of that is disputable. But he gets hated on because that's not enough for him. He wants even more than what he's already earned. So,
man, I can't look. You nailed it. Nail on the head, man. Like, I can't say it any better than that. That's exactly how I felt for so many years. Right there, you pretty much summarized it in that second point you made, man. They want Michael Jordan to be eclipsed so bad. For the people that have not seen Michael Jordan play, that they're going to eat this shit up. Like, regardless of what happens on the court, there's always going to be a narrative after the game about how LeBron, it's not his fault. He needs more help. How many times have we heard that over the years? LeBron needs more help. How much help you need, nigga? You played with 14 Hall of Famers in your career, and I'm just estimating, but I'm pretty sure I'm close. Ray Allen saved your fucking legacy in Miami. You played like shit down the stretch in that game of a game 6 against the Spurs. You got dominated by the Spurs. I mean, there's so much evidence that we could go to from back in the day to where you're just not that guy. We saw JJ Barea. See, I'm struggling to say this nigga's name. We saw JJ Barea take you apart in the finals. You scored 8 points in the finals game. How much evidence do we need? Need I go on? We've seen you shuffle players in and out. We've seen that. We've seen niggas kick to the curb. We've seen Brandon Ingram gone. We've seen Lonzo Ball gone. We've seen how many niggas? There's just so many niggas that we could name that are not on your team anymore that should be on your team producing for you. But somehow it was all their fault and they got kicked out of town. But somehow you're still losing. You're still losing. You're 39 and shit hasn't changed. Still got 4 championships. And I'm gonna say, you know what? Never mind. I'm gonna give you the bubble ring. I'm gonna concede that because I don't like to take shit away from people. I don't like when people do that, so I'm not gonna do it to you, LeBron. We'll just say you won a championship in a shortened, not even a shortened, because they kind of delayed the. Let's just say you got 4. Okay, you got 4. I'm gonna leave that alone. But my point is, for all the people that have not seen Michael Jordan play, man, like your perspective is almost not even respected, man. I've seen niggas, like I said, I've seen niggas compare Michael Jordan to DeMar DeRozan. I mean, how disrespectful can you possibly be, man? Like, it's not even.
Oh man,
I don't understand. I lose words, man. I just lose words. I'm dumbfounded. So now the latest thing is, it's Darvin Ham's fault. Now we back.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, we cut out. But anyway.
You said it was last thing I heard you say was Darvin Ham's fault.
It's Darvin Ham's fault. Anthony Davis has had the healthiest season he's probably had in his fucking career, but Somehow you guys still ended up in the 7th spot playing against the world champions. Now, whose fault was that?
Yeah,
you could have avoided them as long as you want, but the result wasn't going to change. Whenever you played the Nuggets, you knew they weren't going to win, and somehow Laker fans are just, oh my God, we've been leading this amount of minutes in these games, and we should have won. No, you shouldn't have. You don't have a better team than the Nuggets. There's a reason for that, right? Like, there's a reason you lost those games, regardless of how much you had to lead in the game or whatever happened throughout the duration of the game. You still lost. Now, I'm not going to lay all of that at the feet of LeBron James. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to illustrate the point that he has something to do with it. It's not just everybody else. LeBron takes plays off on defense. Nobody talks about that, right? He takes ill-advised shots at times. He does that, right?
Well, he's never been an elite on-ball defender. He's never been that.
Ever. Something Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant were at a point in their career. Yep. And that's undeniable. That's undisputable. There's nothing you could do to debate that point.
Yeah. I have an entire series against the Sixers where essentially Kobe completely negated Allen Iverson.
Like we saw it. We saw this. And I
watched it live.
This is like 2001. I watched this. And people that were born in fucking 2000 or 98, they probably don't have that same luxury of watching them games unless they go on YouTube, and you still don't get that same feeling because we saw it in real time, like you said.
Right.
And we talking about a man who didn't have a fucking post game until about his 10th year in the league, and by the time he was with Miami, his 2nd year. It's just so many holes in his game. We watched guys sag off you from 18 feet. We saw that. Now, maybe everybody else don't remember, but I remember that. Would you ever sag off Michael Jordan from 18 feet?
Hell no. Well, I mean, because see, what they don't understand now, yeah, you were old enough. I think it was the 90s, was the 92 finals when they played the Blazers, and Jordan had 5 3-pointers in the first half.
Yeah, I was very young at that time. I was probably about 6 years old, but yeah, I watched it. I still watched it though.
It's people say, oh, well, that was just a fluke. No, I mean, yeah, that was rare, but it was only rare because Jordan really wasn't shooting threes like that at that point in his career.
They acting like players don't get on heaters. He's on a heater. Like everybody does that. So Michael Jordan can't do it. So the best player all the time can't get on the heater, but it's just so much stuff that just don't add up.
The other thing I'll point out is I can make an argument that Anthony Davis across his career is a better player than anyone that Michael Jordan ever played with on any of those.
Yes. Now, if he's
especially offensively, because Anthony Davis can average 35 points a game in a series. Like that is something very much within his ability to do. There isn't anyone
28 and 15.
Right. There isn't anyone that Jordan played with that could do that across a whole series.
No. Has Scottie Pippen averaged 28 points in a series?
Not when Jordan was there.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
now, again, different era, scores were lower,
Right.
but the point is still made, right?
The ability to take over a game, Anthony Davis has that over Scottie Pippen, and I don't think that's debatable. Now, Scottie Pippen might be he's a better defender, but Anthony Davis is a very good defender as well. So, I mean, it's not like he washes him in that category either. Like,
right.
So it's just so many things that I could point at to where, no, nigga, he's not Michael Jordan, bro. I'm tired of the discussion. I already told niggas the other day, I'm not arguing with niggas again over the GOAT debate. I'm not doing it. I'm just not going to do it. This is my last time really addressing it, but it had to be said. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's out of hand. Like, I'm not going to convince you to see it my way. You damn sure not going to convince me to see it your way.
Yep. There it is.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, I don't know either, man.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on with the stream.
Man, even the internet don't want you to talk about this.
Man, is it a hot mic? Is the mic too hot? Can't take me talking about LeBron James, man. Like,
it's wild.
LeBron Ramon James. fucking, I can't stand. It's not like you said. It's not enough for them to. I concede, man. Top 5 all time. Is that's just not enough for him, man. It's just not enough. For
Nope.
some reason, it's not. They look at you like you being disrespectful by saying he top 5. What type of shit is that? I mean, the man lived up to the expectations coming out of high school. We agree on that, right?
Yep.
Completely lived up to it. We don't deny none of that. His longevity is super commendable. Like, I give him all that. Like, we've never seen nobody ball at this age like him. We just haven't. That's undeniable. I won't deny that. But y'all, there's a lot of shit that y'all deny that you won't own up to. So that's pretty much all I got to say about it, man. I'm glad this nigga's at the house. We ain't got to watch the Lakers and hear about these niggas every other day. Get them the fuck out of here. Thank you, Jokic. Thank you, Jamal Murray, for the game winners. Send them niggas back to LA where they belong, man. Enjoy your off season. Hopefully you get Bronny next year, so that could be your last year that we have to talk about this nigga. And then that's it.
I think his contract is up this year.
He coming
or did
back,
he
though.
sign an extension?
Well, reports are that he's coming back, but we'll see though. You know, you never know with this flaky ass nigga.
Well, he hinted at retirement last year, so
right.
Yeah.
More attention seeking. Attention seeking. That's another thing I don't like about that nigga. Always attention seeking. Always. You can't let other niggas, the young niggas coming up in the league. You got Anthony Edwards out there hooping. You got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's criminally underrated, and they don't even speak about him in the media for real. He's the number 1 seed in the West and just swept a team. We'll get to that in a minute. But all we talk about is LeBron James. And like I said, I'm really not going to talk about, like, I don't want to be a hypocrite. So this is going to really be the last time I speak on this nigga. I don't want to talk about LeBron James anymore. It's been talked about ad nauseum. I'm tired of it. Like,
here's the last thing I'll say about LeBron. And this is going to be a compliment to him. LeBron, across his career, has controlled the narrative of his brand better than anyone else in the history of any sport. He has LeBron's never he's never had any scandals. He's just squeaky clean image, like more so than Tom Brady. You could argue the only athlete with a cleaner image than LeBron is probably somebody like Roger Federer or some shit. Like not even like no major American sport. There's not a player that's cleaner than LeBron in terms of like legendary players.
Right.
Like he really has set a bar. And he's also changed the game.
Probably Derek Jeter. I ain't gonna lie.
Derek Jeter. Okay, I'll give you Derek Jeter. Yeah, he's pretty clean. Now Derek Jeter was smart. He waited till after he was finished playing and like get married and have his kids. Like that was a smart move. But LeBron has changed. Yeah, very very strategic. But LeBron, he changed the game also because of LeBron, refs don't really call travels anymore.
I ain't even get to all the shit that he brought to the NBA. That's just like ridiculous at this point. The team and the superstar. I mean we call it the super teams, the super team era, the travel era, all that shit. Like all that could be attributed to LeBron. Like
the super team era though, it had its run. I think it's over now. It's over. We've seen them crash and burn too often. Anyway, I don't want to be talking about LeBron all night.
Yeah, I was just talking about that too the other day. The super team era is done. Like we're back to like basketball, like team branding basketball. Like the Nuggets have drafted all these guys, and Minnesota is now on the come up. They've drafted all these guys for the most part. You know, they had Rudy Gobert, free agent, whatever. But for the most part, these teams are building organically, and it's good to see basketball back again. Like, and no coincidence, LeBron is on his way out the fucking league. So yeah, we're departing with all of that. Like we're out of here. Wow. It's I don't think that's no coincidence, honestly. Like I think that's how it's supposed to be. He's on his way out, and real basketball is coming back, and I'm proud of it. So
yeah, it's awesome, man.
But yeah, to surmise, fuck LeBron James.
All of that to say.
I said all that to say.
All that to say, yeah,
man. LeBron, get out of here, man. get tired of you. But anyway, man, the playoffs have been pretty good, man. Pretty good games. In the East, only one series has wrapped up, but it's looking like at the moment as we speak, Milwaukee is damn near on their way out. They're down 15 to the Pacers. So that's looking like it's about to wrap up. Even though I want Milwaukee to win, I just don't think it's gonna happen. Celtics close out Miami yesterday 4-1. I did predict a 4-1 Celtics Miami. You also predicted the Celtics to win that series as well. You had them in the sweep, but one game is, I mean, this you knew that they were out of here in short order, basically. So
yeah, I do want to comment on that though, because looking back, people can say, okay, you beat the Heat 4-1. A couple of games are blowouts, 1 seed, no problem. They struggled a lot more against this team than they should have, especially with Jimmy Butler not being on the floor. And Tatum was very average in this series. Big numbers, but again, a lot of those were blowouts, and they were playing deep into the blowout games, which makes zero sense whatsoever. And then Jaylen Brown was forgettable in this. Like your two best players, your two most highly paid players, were very average to below average in this series. What really lifted them, and the difference has been Derek White. Like,
oh my God,
dude. Like he decided to like let the hairline go, and all of a sudden his game is just like to another level.
Like ridiculous.
Yeah. He has been the difference maker in that series. It'll be interesting to see, because I think they're going to get away with it in the next round also, because I think they get the winner of Cleveland and Orlando. That with that series, I think is going to go 7. Those teams
are going to be written all over it for sure.
Yeah, it's going 7. You know, so you're going to have a tired team up against a rested Boston team. I think Boston to get past that as well, but past that team also. But they're going to have a fight on their hands when we get to the finals, Eastern Conference Finals. We'll get to that in a minute, but it's fool's gold. That's that's my notes that I wrote here for Boston. It's fool's gold.
Yeah, I agree. But I've always felt like that about Boston. So I'm not a Jason Tatum believer, as you probably well know. I've been speaking about him. I'm just not. I don't believe it. As many times as I've seen them come up short, I'm not gonna believe that they're just gonna automatically turn it around because they got Porzingis. Porzingis is the only difference in that roster. Like there's nothing else that you can point to that say, oh, they've extended their roster or philosophy to a point where I think they're gonna just overcome what they've been not overcoming. So
yeah,
it's I don't trust Missoula. Like it's just I don't trust the Celtics as a whole. I just don't. They're gonna flame out at some point, and like you said, the next round they get a reprieve because Cleveland or Orlando can beat them. So
yeah, I think so. When we talk about the era of the super team, I think what came along with that era is the concept of playing hero ball. Now, I can't necessarily blame LeBron for inventing that, because honestly, I think, well, I was going to say, the inventor of hero ball is probably Kobe, but you could even go back as far as like Dominique Wilkins or even like George Gervin, if you want to go that far back in terms of hero ball. And I was playing somebody was asking me what hero ball is. I told him essentially hero ball is when you are the best player on the team and you pass up the opportunity to give someone else a good shot so that you can take the sexy shot.
The definition of hero ball.
That's hero ball. And Tatum and Brown both have that condition really bad. I think that I give Missoula credit for putting together a system and an offense that is able to create easy shots for the team. I give him credit for that. The problem is, especially Jaylen Brown, their egos are just too big to subject themselves to that, right? That's not Phil Jackson over there, whose ego actually surpasses Jordan or Kobe. And he's able to convince them to buy into a process. He's not capable of doing that. So you have this great system. You can manufacture easy baskets, especially with a player as efficient as Porzingis out there. But if your guards choose to just go AAU on you, You know,
Go on.
there's only so many timeouts you can call, right?
Right.
So
Yeah,
that was my
that's a
other comment about that.
that's a real good point though. That's a very good point. It makes you think like they for sure they need a new coach because Missoula was just a replacement for Ime Udoka. They just never hired anybody else. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So
And speaking of Ime, like he is really cementing a legacy with the run that Houston put on at the end of the season. Like he deserves a
yeah,
lot of credit for
yeah.
how the surge that team had at the end.
And they were for the majority of the year, they were a playoff team. Like they were in like the 6th, 7th seed, like around that area. They even got to a 5, I think, but they were in the mix the whole year. So shout out to Ime Udoka. I know they didn't want to give him a second chance in Boston, but that was probably a mistake. I know they had to do what they had to do from a PR standpoint and to make it look good, but Ime Udoka has proven himself to be a very good coach. Like the 1 year he was there, they went to the finals. I think that speaks volumes. They haven't been able to do that before or since. So
is him and Nia still together or did they break up?
I don't think they're still together. Last time I heard, I think she left, but you just never know. They might rekindle.
So how can you be so smart in one area and so stupid in another area of your life? Like it's just
Hey,
anyway.
Rich man with money, man. I can't knock him. He a rich man with money. Like I never been rich and successful and powerful and had thousands of women at my disposal. So I don't know. I would like to think I would do the right thing. But
I mean, obviously I've never been in that position either, but I definitely have had women throw themselves at me in the workplace. That has happened to me on more than one occasion.
absolutely.
Now, are they as fine as whoever she was? I can't say because I never saw her face. I don't know. But I didn't
From
have
what I
some
know,
baddies.
she wasn't hitting like that. From what I know, but
So I'm like, well, I don't know. Anyway, but I mean, it's that's a whole nother rabbit hole. I'm not going to jump down.
yeah, we could go all day on that. But
Yeah.
Boston, yeah, they'll escape the first 2 rounds unscathed. Yeah, so that's pretty much it on Boston. I don't really have too much else to say about them until we get further into the playoffs. Cleveland and Orlando has shaped up to be the most odd series I've ever seen. Like the first 2 games were I promised myself after the first 2 or 3 games of that series that I wouldn't watch another minute of it because it was just such bad basketball, especially from Orlando the first 2 games. My goodness. Like I thought it was going to be a sweep. The way Orlando played, like you couldn't convince me that game was going past 4, but they got it together when they got home behind Franz Wagner and Paulo Banchero, of course. Banchero's been balling. Even on the road, he's been balling. So Cleveland, very untrustworthy team. I knew that going in, but I still picked them to win 4-2, and I expect them to win 4-2. I'm expecting them to close it out in Orlando. If they don't, then they might get swept by the Celtics. That's just how I'm feeling. Donovan Mitchell, I'm on record saying I think he's a complete fraud. I don't believe in him. I've seen him flame out in Utah. I've seen him shit the bed in Cleveland last year. He's just not what Dickie V say, a PT peer. He's just not a PT peer. He's not
PT peer, baby.
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell is not that. I think he's a star. I think he's a regular season star, man. That's what I think of Donovan Mitchell. Until he proves otherwise, that's what he is. I'm not sparing nobody. If I talk shit about Jason Tatum, I got to give the same smoke to Donovan Mitchell, even though he's not rated as high as Jason Tatum or Joel Embiid, another nigga we gonna get to in a minute. Yeah, nobody's safe tonight. Nobody's safe tonight. If y'all didn't get the memo, nobody is safe tonight. Like I'm going through. Like we coming through, bro. Like it's Donovan Mitchell is not that, but I'm still expecting Cleveland to close this series out in 6. That's all I got to say about that. How you feel about who you think gonna win tomorrow?
I still think that series is still going 7 games. So I think Orlando's gonna find a way to win. I think Paolo's gonna go completely the hell off at home tomorrow.
He might.
I think it's going 7 games. I think that is gonna come down to how how well Donovan is able to avoid the temptation to try to take the game over.
Hero ball.
And a lot, right. Can he resist the temptation to do that or not? And also it causes me to think, like, how much do these players actually want to win a championship? Like, I wonder sometimes how much do you really want to win a title
Right.
versus just
Get your numbers.
like competing, right? Getting numbers and competing, because there's a difference between competing for a championship and actually winning a championship. And these players that play this hero ball, they've never seen anyone do that and successfully win a championship. Like,
Right.
I don't understand the motive and the premise behind what they're doing, because it doesn't lead you to titles. So that's why I wonder, how much these guys actually want to win. And maybe they're just legitimately like dumb. Maybe they're just not smart and
I
not
think the
capable.
coaches have a lot to do with that too. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So, I think I lost you again.
did it go out again?
Yeah, it did. It looks like you're back though. I see you moving around.
You hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell is going on.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on. Yeah, but what were you saying?
Well, you made a point about coaching has a lot to do with um these players not being able to resist the temptation to play hero ball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I would agree. I think I think the bevy of coaches we have in the NBA right now, I think as a whole, in terms of X's and O's,
Mm-hmm.
are better than we've probably ever seen in the league. Just when you look at the design of the plays and stuff that's drawn up across the league, I think the coaching staff has a very high IQ overall. But your legendary coaches are always the ones that could dictate mindset,
Mm-hmm.
right? When you talk about Phil Jackson, when you talk about, if we want to go real old school, Red Auerbach,
Man.
Pat Riley, these are coaches that were Chuck Daly, right? These are coaches that were able, they were not known as much for like X's and O's as they were creating a winning culture and a winning mindset,
Right.
and being able to manage egos within teams.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't really have a lot of egomaniacs in the league currently. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, you have Greg Popovich, but he's kind of a dying breed, right? Like, and his approach to the game was different than all those coaches.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't see coaches that are able to kind of control the team culture. It has become very player focused, and LeBron had a lot to do with that. And honestly, Adam Silver enables that to a large degree as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, and because you now have a player focused league, it unfortunately creates a lot of monsters from a hero ball standpoint.
It
But
does.
that's not a winning formula in terms of winning championships.
Agreed, man. It's like you see with Miami, even today, they still have that Pat Riley culture to them. Like they
Mhm,
still have the Heat, the Miami Heat way
mhm.
about them that they still, abide by to this day. Even with Jimmy Butler being the leader, hard nosed, he's gonna hold everybody accountable, make sure things are done right. They had Udonis Haslam on the bench and all that stuff, being like the kind of the mediator. But we back.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell is going on with this stream tonight.
Yeah, you might want to check your internet speed and see if your internet's dropping on you. I'm checking mine right now. Yeah, mine's moving pretty good. Yeah, I'm moving pretty good.
Yeah, I have no idea what the hell is going on.
Just
Like
roll with
none.
just roll with it.
I'm gonna have to maybe I don't know. I'm gonna have to look at the computer after I finish to see if I gotta free some space or whatever. But yeah, I don't know if it's the app. I mean, I don't know if it's the site or the computer hard drive or whatever. But we'll get to the bottom of it.
All right.
Uh, yeah, but like I said, heat culture is still a thing. Pat Riley
Mhm,
implemented a culture, and they're still playing by that to this day. So
mhm. Yep.
it matters. It matters.
Yep.
Uh,
Absolutely.
and as I'm looking at this game, 112-93, the Pacers are destroying the Bucks right now. Like,
Yeah, the Bucks don't have nothing for them tonight. Um, momentum. They got the shirt cannon coming out. Like it's getting embarrassing.
the shirt cannon.
They
Yeah,
got
when the shirt cannon come out, it's over.
yeah, they rolling a shirt can on the floor. Yeah, that's.
Dame got 28. It don't even matter. Brooke Lopez, 20 points.
Mhm.
Bobby Portis, 19. Back to the post office tomorrow, I guess.
Back to the post office. That's all right. He'll be free to grill this weekend, so that's fine. You know them ribs gonna be slamming.
Smacking. So, shout out to Bobby Portis, man. Crazy eyes. We call him Crazy Eyes in Miami. I mean, Milwaukee.
Yeah, man.
What other series we got going on right now? The Knicks and the 76ers is next. This will be
Mhm,
happening tonight. Game 6. I don't know what to think, man. After Tyrese Maxey just did what he did, I
mhm.
don't even know what to think about the series no more. Like that kind
Yeah.
of just shifted things. Like I don't know. How you feel about what happened in game 5?
So I'm calling it the Maxi miracle. Um, he was just a nuclear bomb and went off in that game.
Man,
Very similar to what Jalen Brunson did. I think it was the game before that. Um, he just put his big boy pants on and just told the team to get on his back.
man.
Um, I think it'll be interesting to see how whether he's going to be able to maintain that level of play, moving forward in the series.
And that
Um,
level of carrying Embiid too. But yeah, go ahead.
yeah, yeah, Embiid, yeah. So we'll see. I'm not confident in it. I'm more confident in Brunson and the system that Tibbs has got that team playing. That is a safer bet in my opinion, in terms of pulling the series out. So I do think the Knicks are going to go in on the road and get a win tonight.
Mhm.
Um, It's going to take the only way Philly wins is if Maxey goes for 40 again. That's the only way they win. So we'll I don't think it's going to happen. I think the Knicks are going to close the series out on the road tonight. But your thoughts?
How you feel about Tobias Harris? Because I think he's the most overpaid. And I hate y'all don't get me wrong, please, man. Like I don't like to talk about people's salary because I wouldn't want nobody to do it to me. Like I'm just a regular guy out here making an honest living. Like I don't like to talk about salaries, but if we're talking about the most overpaid player in the National Basketball Association, nobody notices. Like his agent is brilliant. Like that nigga needs a medal. Like he needs the what they call the Congressional Medal of Honor. Like that nigga needs like he needs a medal. He needs something like a plaque, a statue or something. Like he needs something, bro. But Tobias Harris has to be the most overpaid player in NBA history. Like nobody looks at him and his production like maybe he needs to be doing more for his team for the amount he's getting paid. Now I know he don't get paid that in the playoffs,
Right.
but yeah, like he just disappears. I don't understand how he gets such a pass for getting so much but doing so little.
Yeah, it is kind of a travesty. I think it's hard to be that big and get paid that much and be that invisible on a basketball court. But he somehow manages to pull it off.
Mm.
I mean, I think you pretty much said it all. You could subtract him from that roster and the team will perform exactly the same as they always
did. They'll be fine.
So you think about, okay, if you look at the end of that contract and you had that much cap space freed up, how much could you improve the outcome of the team if they had that money, right?
Talk about it, man. Talk about it.
And he's that type of guy that Charles Barkley used to talk about. He was like, he played with a lot of guys in the league that should have had a mask to pick up their checks because that's how badly they were robbing the NBA. Like he's that type of guy where he's literally robbing the team.
Like poster child. Like literally. Come on, man. Like, damn. Give me something. I can't think of the last time I seen a significant play from Tobias Harris in a big game. I can't. Like I literally it might happen tonight. Just because I said it might happen tonight. Like he might make a big three at the end of a game. Like, oh shit, like now I look stupid on the pod. But yeah. I just haven't seen it from him at all. Like, but as far as the game tonight, I agree with you. I think the Knicks will find a way to get it done. Jalen Brunson, of course, has to be Jalen Brunson. I think Josh Hart has been big in the series. He's kind of plateaued as of late, but hopefully he can pick it back up. I think they would have won that game if he made that free throw at the end of the game in game 4. I mean game 5, I'm sorry. In game 5. But I think they'll get it done. I think Tibbs and them will get it done, and I think they'll go on to the next round. And the Pacers, obviously, we'll talk about them, but they weren't ready. I don't think they're ready. I don't think they're ready at all. They're struggling with the injured Milwaukee team. Milwaukee shouldn't have won 2 games in the series.
Yeah, agreed.
So the Pacers, they look good tonight, obviously, but I don't see them beating the Knicks in the 7-game series. I will make that prediction, as it comes, but
right,
I don't see them winning.
Yep, I got you. Yeah, agreed. Everything you said. So,
but yeah, series and it was another series in the East that was going on.
No, we covered all the ones in the East.
That was it.
Yeah, the one we didn't cover was the Clippers and the Mavericks.
Clippers Mavs, yeah. As a betting series, I've hit on every single game except for the first game. I've hit on every other game betting wise.
Yeah, I look at this matchup and in my notes, I literally wrote, "Who cares?" Like,
yeah,
I mean, like there's the way that both of these teams are playing. They both are demonstrating that this is as far as they're going to go in the playoffs, right? Just the way that both teams are playing, because really the onus is on Dallas, even though they're the lower seed. Dallas has so much momentum at the end of the
Mhm,
season and got on such a heater. Like I was telling you when I was in Dallas for the Eclipse, they had the game on. It
mhm.
seemed like there was so much chemistry with the team. Kyrie hitting all the big shots, and it seemed like okay, Kyrie seems happy, and happy Kyrie is best Kyrie, right? But then we get into the series, and they just don't. They're struggling to beat a team that's not very good.
Right.
And it's kind of almost inexplicable how that could happen. Now they've been going really hard at Luca, especially the last couple games. Like the Clippers have kind of decided that okay, Luca's not going to beat us. And so they've been successful
He
from
he
a
beat him last night, though. I'll tell
well,
you that.
yeah, the one flew over the cuckoo's nest last night. But
Man.
but that's what I'm saying is the Mavs should not be having this much trouble with a team as inconsistent and as injured as the Clippers.
I agree.
You have the worst point guard in the entire NBA playing for the Clippers. You should not struggle to beat that team. You just shouldn't. Which tells me that if the Mavs are able to close them out tonight, that they have zero chance against Oklahoma City. like you're not
Yeah.
gonna. Neither of these teams are gonna beat Oklahoma City. Oklahoma
No.
City is going straight into the finals.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much a foregone conclusion, man. Like,
Yep. Yep.
yeah, you pretty much said it. It's kind of like how I feel about Cleveland. Like, you're having way
Mhm.
too much Indiana too. You're having way too much trouble with a team that's really like they're beaten already. So
Right.
you're healthier. You're the healthier team coming into the matchup.
Yep.
Guys in and out the lineup. Kawhi Leonard, of course, we know all his injury. All his injury stuff going on.
Yep.
You almost feel like the series should have been over by now, but somehow like they fell behind by like 30 points in game 4. It was like, what the
hmm
hell is going on?
Right. Yep.
They
Yep.
eventually ended up holding on to the game and winning, but it was like, come on.
Yeah. And see
But
that again. That's embarrassing for both teams. You let so if you're the Mavs, you let this team get out to a 30-point lead on you when you have
ridiculous
two
at home.
easily. You're at home with easily two of the top 10 greatest scorers in the NBA right now, and you let this team get out to 31 on you. And then if you're the Clippers, you let this team come back and tie the game. You blew a 31-point lead. That's embarrassing on both. Like both of y'all
Yeah.
deserve to lose. Like deep by default, both of y'all get eliminated.
Yep. And that shows a level of inconsistency that's just not going to get it done in the second round. I don't give a damn what happens. Like Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and Jalen Williams are they're on a mission.
Yeah. You could
Like,
argue that OKC has played the best in the entire NBA in this playoffs. They have
that's a
had the
fact.
best playoff performance. You could argue that.
That's a fact. Like, yeah. I mean, and we'll get to them right now. As a matter of
Oh yeah.
fact,
Let's do it.
they sweep the New Orleans Pelicans. I didn't even expect the sweep, honestly. I thought Brandon Ingram, who's another guy, like I said, I'm sparing nobody tonight. Nobody's getting spared. Brandon Ingram, like the way I look at Brandon Ingram, I feel like he's at least supposed to get one game. He's supposed to get one game.
Mhm.
You're supposed to get one game. The way I view him, I don't know how everybody else view him, but like I see him as he's not an elite player in the NBA, but he's the guy that, like, look, off respect, I'll give you one game in the series. Like, I
Yeah.
think you'll go off one game that'll get me something in the series. Like,
Yeah. He's supposed
flat
to
out.
do what Tyrese Maxey did. You're supposed to be able
Facts.
to just go off for 45, right?
Yeah. Like, that's how I look at. I don't know how everybody else look at him, but that's how I look at him. But for them to get rid of New Orleans as easy as they did, like, I underestimated OKC, which is crazy because I love Shea. You know what I'm saying? I love
Mhm.
Shea. I love what they're building out there. But I didn't expect New Orleans to get swept. I just didn't expect it. I don't know who else did, but I didn't. Did you?
No, I wasn't expecting a sweep. Now I also wasn't expecting Zion to not play the whole series.
True.
So that obviously factored into it a lot when you got, a player like that. It's difficult to it's difficult to redo a rotation around someone as disruptive as Zion, right? It's kind of hard to make that
Right.
adjustment, especially on the fly. And I think he got hurt in the play-in tournament.
In the
I mean,
play-in, yep.
the play-in. So, that's tough. But I already figured it was curtains for them when they got beat by the Lakers in the first play-in game. Like, you can't allow that. You can't allow that. You just can't allow that.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I think so with LKC, and this goes kind of into what this bridges into what I wanted to discuss was looking at these games. I'm looking for who are the players that are playing championship basketball right now in the playoffs, right? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is playing championship basketball right now. Jamal Murray is playing championship basketball. Jalen Brunson is playing championship basketball.
Yes.
I think the list ends there, honestly. Now, I can make an argument that
Ant Edwards.
So Ant is on. He's there. I got two players that are kind of on my cusp. First one is Ant. Ant, yes, he went completely the fuck off in that series. I think though that his inconsistency leading up to that causes me to pause a little, right? Like, you did that across 4 games against an inferior team. Can you, because the Suns don't play defense, like we already told that, right?
Oh my God.
Like,
we're gonna address that.
I could get 25 against the Suns, okay? let's just
fact.
I'm 5'8", 300 pounds. I can get 25, okay?
That's a fact.
So yes, you look like a superstar against a team that refused to guard you. We are going to figure out what you're made of when you're going into Denver for game 1. We're going to figure out what you're about, right? So, but he's on my, like, on the cusp. Like, you've had a great series. I got my eye on you, right? You're right there, right? The other player that I think is kind of right there, I'm not quite ready to say championship, but right there is Jalen Williams. Jalen Williams he's not supposed to be the second best player on the team, right?
Man.
Like, Chet Holmgren from the beginning has been kind of given that label. Like, he's been in the commercials and everything.
Right.
Jalen Williams just don't give a damn.
His development has been crazy. And I've been saying it all year. It's like, y'all better be watching out for Jalen Williams. I know Chet Holmgren is the it guy, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But look, he coming.
And like, watching the interviews and watching him talk to the press, he has a maturity beyond his years in terms of just he's got that thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, he got that killer instinct. Like, we about to go in here and snatch your heart out. Like, he got that dog, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I want to see a little more before I say championship level basketball, but the way he's been playing, like, you were like, right, he's like right there, right? Snatch your heart out. And then of course Shai is Shai. Like, just he's not as outspoken as a lot of these other big superstars, but this is a team that loves each other, right? They play well together. When one person's getting interviewed on the court, the whole team comes around them. Like, they're a cohesive unit.
Now, they stole that from us. Like, now we're gonna reclaim this shit next year. Memphis will be back to reclaim. Like, they took the whole hijacking the interview thing to another level, but we started that. Like,
yeah.
And I think we're gonna remind niggas next year. So, but yeah, continue. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, you good, man. It's still your show. It's still your show.
No, I'm just, Memphis niggas forgot, and I'm gonna speak on that before the stream end too. Like, niggas don't forgot like what Memphis bring to the table because we got hurt this year. But yeah, it's your floor. You got it.
Yeah. I got comments about that too, but we'll get there. So you got like these. I'm so impressed with these young guys. I was surprised to see Josh Giddey getting the amount of time that he got. I guess whatever scandal he was wrapped up in, I guess he was able to beat the charges or whatever. I haven't been watching news on it lately. But I mean, well, there's a whole rash of. Anyway, I'm not gonna get into that either. I might get canceled myself, so I ain't gonna get into that. But so if anyone wants to know what I was about to say, just look up Trevor Bauer, and that's all you need to know about what I'm about to say.
There you go.
So Yeah, so OKC, in my notes I put, they're for real. They are for real. They will go to the Western Conference Finals. Um, Denver, Minnesota. We're gonna learn a lot about Minnesota in this year. We already know who Denver is.
Facts.
We already know. There's nothing we need to see. They're going to be who they are. We're gonna learn a lot about the Minnesota
Mm-hmm.
Timberwolves and whether they have what it takes to
Mm-hmm.
go to the next level.
Yep.
I'm gonna say right now, I do think that Anthony Edwards will have another very good series. I do think that he's going to be able to carry over
I
into
do
the
too.
next series. Carl Anthony Towns is going to get exposed in a major way in this series. He's like it's gonna be, and if he can't figure out how to get his shit together, it's gonna be really embarrassing for him because you know that the coaching scheme that they got going on in Denver and how they're able to just exploit weaknesses in the other team and just how free flowing that offense is and how they're just able to get good shots. And when they don't have a good shot, like the Joker and Murray they just hit everything. They just don't miss and clutch. Those two of the
Like
most clutch players in the
that
NBA right now.
man, listen,
Like,
man, that pick and roll, like that shit is damn near unguardable. Like
like
I don't know what people got to do to figure that out, but you
yeah,
can't like that shit can't be defended at this point.
yeah, it's just the way they're able to control the pace. Okay, down 10 points, not a big deal.
Don't matter.
We'll just chip away, claw back, chip away, claw back, get you in foul trouble. Joker
Yep.
hitting threes. Like, come on, man. That's not fair. It's not fair. So yeah, we're gonna learn a lot about Minnesota in that series. Um, obviously Denver's the favorite. I'm still gonna pick them to win the series. Although I have to say Denver played a very hard fought series against the Lakers
Mm-hmm.
that was physically and emotionally draining. Well, probably not emotionally draining, but that took a lot out of them. Those are 5 hard fought games. There weren't really any blowouts, I think, except for one game. But Minnesota's going to be relatively fresh because you know they played against 5 cones basically for 4
No, but
games.
if I'm not mistaken though, like those series ended within a day or two of each other. Like it really
Yeah.
wasn't too much overlap. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, but I think the mileage is there. Now, again, this is a team that just won a championship. So mileage
yeah,
from a playoff
they're
standpoint,
built
really,
for it.
yeah, it's not really that big a deal. I think it could be the difference in, maybe if Minnesota, goes in there and tries to run them out the building, or
Mhm.
Cat gets hot from 3, they could probably steal a game in Denver. But
Yeah,
that's not really going to be that much of an impact. I
yeah,
still think Denver's going to get past them, but we're going to see what the Timberwolves are made of.
for sure. Like you hit it on the head. Like this is not about this series isn't about Denver. We know what they're bringing to the table. You hit that dead on the head. And I've been trying so hard to get niggas to bet me on this series because I know Ant-Man is the new it guy. So I'm basically trying to play off niggas' emotions and feelings. Like I know that everybody expects Ant to come in here and drop 50 every game and go crazy and put the champs out. So I'm trying to take advantage of that so bad. Like I've been putting out
um, it's tough.
Facebook
No,
posts.
it's a recession, man. Niggas ain't got money for that.
Man, I'm trying so hard because I know Ant is the guy. Like everybody expecting he's like Michael. What's the new thing? He's Michael Jordan's son. So I want
Okay.
niggas to bet on Michael Jordan's son. I
Oh,
want
there
this
you go.
money. Like I'm trying to come up big. I got bills, man. Y'all help me, man, please. Um,
Mhm. As
uh,
Embiid throws a pass into the 4th row. I just wanted to point that out.
I didn't know the game started. Yeah, it's 9:09.
Yep.
But yeah, I think Denver wins, and the series starts on Saturday. I think it starts on Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I got Denver winning that series 4-2. Like I'm not even
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
we said all killer, no filler. Like, you bought that to me. I've been using that ever since, man. Like,
I stole off somebody else on Facebook, so keep it going.
yeah, man. I gotta use that. But yeah, all killer, no filler, man. I think Denver wins 4-2. I
Yep.
don't see them losing a home game in this series. I think Minnesota will be competitive. Obviously, like they're up there in the top 3 for a reason. So,
Yep.
I think Cat has that one game where he goes off about 30 plus. You know what I mean? But I see Denver win. I think it'll be one of those series. I think the home team will just dominate the series until the last game where Denver wins 4-2.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
Minnesota's no pushover, so I'm not expecting Denver to roll over them, but I do fully expect Denver to win and go to the Western Conference Finals. I don't think they'll be stopped in any kind of way. Michael Conley, I think if Mike Conley has a good series, I think he could be the guy that turns the series, but I just don't see it at this point in his career.
Yeah.
But if let me tell you something, one more thing. If Michael Porter Jr. continues to play the way he's playing,
Yeah.
it could be over in 5.
Yeah.
Like, because that
Yeah,
nigga that's probably the best series I've seen him play in his playoff career, probably.
Yeah, like I said, the system they've got going there. Again, you got a great technician in Malone that is putting together just winning basketball for that team. And again, they're the champs. So they know what works, right? They've got a system that's been proven to bring rings. And so they just go out there and they execute the system that they've got. Right? It's a winning formula. So it's like Coca-Cola, man. Like
It
that shit
works.
tastes good. So you just
Right.
keep making it over again, right?
It works. It works.
It
Yeah.
just works.
Got the
So just
formula.
work it.
Yep.
Yeah, you got the formula. So just go out there and keep doing it, right?
Yep.
So yeah, I think that's what's going to be the test is how effective will Minnesota be at trying to disrupt the rhythm of the Nuggets offense. And if they're successful at disrupting the rhythm, how well can they weather the Joker storm and the Jamal Murray storm?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If it's close, if it's one possession at the end of the game, you're not going to beat the Nuggets if it's one possession at the end.
No.
Because
No.
Joker will get the shot or Murray will get the shot and you will lose
Every time.
Yeah, you've got to have you have to be able to kind of put your foot on that team's neck and keep them down and pull away from them late. Like you can't have a close game at the end. You're just not going to win those. I will say also that just completely off topic. I've been enjoying the hell out of watching Dawn Staley watch the Sixers. Like
Yeah.
I just love I just love her. Like just her energy, like she's so authentic, just such a real person, like a legendary coach already. Like I just love everything about Dawn Staley.
Yeah, she been real active at them Sixers games for sure.
Yeah.
Like
Oh
she
yeah.
Philly to the heart for sure.
Yeah. I just love Dawn Staley. Like she's awesome.
Yeah, I like Dawn Staley too. Legend, man. Dawn Staley's a legend.
Yeah, man. You talk about all killer, no filler. Holy shit.
Man. Whole
Like, even
career. College.
like going back to the women's dream team, what was that 96? And it was her with Cheryl Swoops and Lisa Leslie.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah,
That team was
when they smoked Martin on the Martin show, they smoked Martin, Tommy, and Cole and them. Yeah.
Man, Teresa Weatherspoon. Holy shit.
Teaspoon is a sleeper. I used to love Teaspoon on the Liberty. Like, what?
Man, you talk about a dog. Like everybody we
Teaspoon was
named,
a
those are
dog.
all dogs.
Man, what? Like you said, all killer, no filler, man. But yeah, I feel the same. Nuggets. It'll be the Nuggets and OKC in the conference finals. You know, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But in the East, I don't think we made our. Well, we obviously have the Celtics beating Cleveland or Orlando, so that's not even a thing. And then New York or Philly will play. What's the other team? The Pacers now, because the Pacers just blew out the Bucks.
Yeah, Pacers win. They go on. The Knicks right now are up double digits, and they are completely outplaying the Sixers, which is, to me, if I'm Philly, that's very troubling because you just came off of a very emotional win,
Emotional win. Yes, sir.
and now you're
Yep.
getting your shit pushed in the first quarter at home. Like that's very troubling.
Yeah.
So yeah. I think Knicks closed out tonight. I think that the Pacers have absolutely nothing for New York. I don't think that'll be a difficult series for New York to win.
4-1.
I've been saying like Philly, in chess. So there's a term in chess they call their people Smurfs, especially online chess. And are you familiar with this term?
No.
So you obviously know what a Smurf is. So in the
Right.
context of chess, a Smurf is basically a really good player that is maybe playing on a new account that's lower rated than what the player actually is. Right. So if
Okay.
you have like a grandmaster that's opening a new account, the rating of that account, they're going to play way above what the rating on that account says because they actually are a better player than what it says.
Right.
I've said that Philly have been Smurfs this whole series because with the Embiid injury, they dropped in their seeding, which means that whoever they played above them they were going to make it a more competitive series, if and when they could get Embiid back, and that's what's happened. And so New York is currently playing a better team than the one they're going to face in the next round, which is why I think that they'll have no problem with
Yeah.
Indiana, and they're going to go on to play Boston in the finals. And again, that hero ball is going to get exposed in a big way.
Man.
Boston is going to have to calm the fuck down and listen to their coach if they're going to have any shot of winning that series. But
Agreed.
that's how I see it going.
Agreed, man.
The other thing I'll say this: what the Knicks have going for them, the media desperately wants the Knicks in the finals. They desperately want to talk about New York playing in the NBA finals.
And I want to give my prediction, but we're gonna hold off. But I see where you're going with it. But I do have the Knicks beating Indiana 4-1. I don't believe in Indiana at all. Like I think they struggled a little bit too much with Milwaukee in the first round for them to be as injured as they were. I just don't see it from them yet. They still have a couple years more of development and players to get. So yeah, Knicks 4-1, and I got Boston 4-1 over whoever comes out of that, Cleveland, Orlando, which I fully expected to be Cleveland. I think they'll beat Cleveland 4-1. I don't believe in Cleveland whatsoever. I think, like I said, Donovan Mitchell is not that guy. 4-1 on both sides, and I think the Eastern Conference Finals will be Boston and New York, and we'll definitely get to that when that comes.
Yeah, for sure.
As far as the West, OKC, I fully expect the Mavs to win the game tomorrow. Like if they lose tomorrow at home, then they're putting themselves in a bad position in Game 7. So, I think the Mavs will pull that out in Game 6 at home, and it will be OKC and the Mavs. And in that series, I'm just going to do that prediction right now, since next Thursday we won't be able to make it without a game or two being played. So,
right.
On the spot, OKC 4-2. I'll give Luka and Kyrie 2 games with the potential of it being 7, but I think OKC they're at a level right now where they're kind of in autopilot. Like they got that thing in autopilot, man. Like I think OKC 4-2 in that series.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't disagree very much there. Again, Luka and Kyrie, you can never count those two out when it comes to things like that. But the better system is going to win. 4-2, I think, sounds reasonable. I think that if OKC can build up enough momentum and run away, they could possibly close them out of 5 games. But yeah, OKC definitely goes on to win that series. Again, I'm picking the Knicks to go over tonight. They will dispatch Indiana in short order. I think that's going to be 4-1. Boston. I'm going to say 6 games just because of how inconsistent Boston has been. But Boston will win that series, whoever they end up playing. I think that particularly if Orlando comes out of that series, I definitely can see them winning one or potentially both games at home, two
Right.
games at home, just from the crowd and the momentum and those young guys getting amped up and Tatum shooting them out the game. Like I can see that happening multiple times, but neither of those teams are going to beat Boston 4 times in a series. Like Boston goes over and wins. And then, like I said, we'll cross that bridge when we get there, as far as Boston and New York. So
Yeah. The Knicks are just a team that I want to see. And like aside from how I feel about the games, I just want to see the Knicks make it to the finals. I think that's a dope story. Jalen Brunson, I like him. I think in a league full of choke artists, he's not one of them. I love Tyrese Maxey too. Like it's almost to the point where we got to start discussing him as being the guy that you build a team around. When you add in Joel Embiid's injuries and his inconsistencies in the playoffs, it's damn near that time to start. Like, yo, like, do we need to build around Tyrese Maxey? If you're the GM for the Sixers, is that still Daryl Morey? I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, especially when you look at the run that the Sixers went on at the end of the regular season to get into the playoffs. Like, Tyrese, like, he out there singing like the real Tyrese. Like, man. you doing it.
Yeah, Tyrese Maxey is a dog. I love him as a player, man. So you have options. To me, you have options. You can trade Joel Embiid and get so much. You can get the farm for Joel Embiid. Like, you can get the farm. He's going to be injury prone. As far as we know, he missed some couple seasons. He missed a lot of time this season. We know what he's going to do in the playoffs. We haven't seen optimal performance from him in the playoffs. Like, it's not out of the realm of possibility that you can trade Joel Embiid and get pieces. We talked about Tobias Harris. That contract is large. You can get him out. You can literally build a whole new team around Tyrese Maxey with 2 guys.
Yeah.
Just by using those 2 guys. This is the type of, thoughts that I have as a GM. If I'm a GM of a team and I'm running the show, like, these are the kind of things I would do. Just like I said with the Lakers a few years ago. I would trade LeBron and Anthony Davis and rebuild my whole damn team. Like, I'm not relying on these questionable veterans to get it done. LeBron's 39, 38. AD is injury prone. You could get whatever for AD. His trade value is still high. So that's kind of the mindset I have with Philadelphia as well. Like,
yeah, there's a lot of directions you could go for sure. I don't see Philly should try to move Embiid. I agree with you. That would be an improvement. I don't think that's likely to happen just based upon the history of the team and like all the shenanigans they went through with Ben Simmons and James Harden.
Right.
If
good point.
I'm a GM, I'm gonna feel, and I'm probably gonna feel some level of obligation wanting to reward Embiid for being the rock, right? Being the single point of consistency throughout the whole trust the process era that they went through. And he's a fan favorite and all that stuff. So I definitely could see the team wanting to continue to make him a cornerstone of the franchise. Having said that, you want to pay Tyrese his money.
Got to. You have to.
You're gonna have to. And which means that, okay, are you going to keep paying Embiid his money too? Because if so, then you better be sure that you got championship stock on the floor, or you're going to be in, a Brooklyn Nets / Houston Rockets situation all over again. So, this ain't Golden State where, they won the championship before they started paying everybody, and then they were still able to win championships with a bloated roster, bloated salaries. Like, you can't do that. You got to win the ring first, right? You're in a 41 year drought of championships in Philadelphia. So
that's crazy.
You got a lot of humps to overcome first. And right now you don't have the team to get you there. And I'm going to tell you, with this Eastern Conference is not going to get easier. It's not going to get any easier from here. When you look
It's
at
not.
where the Knicks are, Milwaukee, when they're back at full strength, they're going
Mhm.
to be a tough out. Miami just always, you
Always
can
in the
always
thick
you
of
can
things.
never count them out because it's Pat Riley, right?
Yep.
Indiana's a young team that's coming off a playoff win with some momentum and confidence. So
Mhm.
it's not going to get easier for you in the Eastern Conference, right? You gotta make a move, right? 28-9 with 4 minutes left in the first quarter. This game's over. The series
Over.
is over, ladies and
Over.
gentlemen. I'm calling it now. This series is over. So yeah, it's not going to get any easier for you in the East. Now I want to switch to the West and talk about your Grizzlies a little bit.
Yes, sir.
So when you look at the Western Conference, it's completely different. This current batch of playoff teams is a totally different story than the Eastern Conference. In the West, you have a Warriors team that is fading, right? That the party's over in Golden State.
Yeah. Over.
Steph is going to do the Kobe. He's going to play out his years as a legend. He's going to die on his sword with a
Mhm.
fading team in Golden State. Lakers are cooked. This is the best version of the Lakers that those fans could possibly hope for, and they absolutely got their shit pushed in um, by the defending champs. So we know that you've hit your ceiling, and LeBron is only going to get a year older and a year bitchier, right? Anthony Davis has played the most games he's ever played in a season for the Lakers. This is as healthy he's ever going to get. Yes, he's had some flashes of greatness, but
Mhm.
that's that team that bus has gone as far as it's going to go. So that's an opening. Golden State creates an opening. The Suns are cooked. I don't know
Cool.
what the hell they're going to do in
And
Phoenix.
just real quick, I heard their
Mhm.
owner come out today saying like he's pretty much like happy with where they are as a unit, which was the
Yeah.
most crazy shit I could imagine after what just happened in the playoffs.
He said that after they got swept.
Yeah, like that was either today or yesterday. He said that like he's fine. Like they're on the right track. Basically, is what he's saying. I just saw
Yeah.
that literally before we came on. I didn't get to read like in depth, but that's pretty much the overall premise of what he said.
Mhm. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted because I guess on the stream they're showing the crowd in Philly, and people are like up, excited, jumping around, dancing. Like y'all are down by 20
In an elimination game.
in a limit. What are you like? It's not like they're trying to like will the team on. They're just like excited, like they just won. Like
Just
okay,
in the
anyway, I
moment.
got distracted. Um, so yeah, the Suns. If with the owner coming out saying that, you already know what that is. Um, Durant is probably going to play out the rest of his career there. But who knows with Durant? He might sign with the Lakers. Who knows what the hell's going on with that? Um, they've hit their ceiling. They've peaked. So there's an opening there. So
Mhm.
you already got three teams that are sliding. Um, New Orleans, I think, is stuck in neutral. Um, you like they're not moving anywhere. They're
No.
not they're not going anywhere.
Nope.
So they're in neutral. The Clippers are set for an implosion.
They're done.
Um,
They're completely done.
yeah, so we've already named what is that? Five
That's about 5.
teams
Yep.
that are neutral or sliding. So what that creates is an opportunity for teams like Memphis to have a resurgence, for teams like Sacramento to
Mhm.
figure out, you know, was 2 years ago just a flash in the pan, or can they actually build, a team
Mhm.
that can go deep into the playoffs? Ime Udoka in Houston definitely is coming for everybody in the bottom half of that Western Conference.
That's a
So
fact.
there are opportunities for teams to come in and to create shakeups, right? There's a new regime that's ready to be birthed. And the top of that regime, but I still think the top of that regime for a while is going to be OKC and Denver. They're
Mhm.
going to be at the top of that regime, but there's going to be it's going to be opportunities for a lot of teams who were down this year to really kind of make that resurgence next year.
Yeah. Agreed. As it pertains to Memphis, I love the spot that we're in right now. Like It's almost like a forgotten thing where people don't realize that we were the second seed last year, like the last 2 years.
Mhm. Yep.
But we had a season where our best player was suspended for 25 games, where he came back for 9 and he got, he had a ending injury in practice, a torn labrum.
Mhm.
And in addition to that, every other player on our roster that meant something got hurt. Like it was
Right.
the
Yep.
craziest season ever that I can remember. Desmond
Mhm.
Bain missed like 40 games. Jaren Jackson missed about 20 plus. Marcus Smart missed about 30. It's just a rash of, unfortunate events that happen. And in that, we discovered that we had the youngest player in the league, Gigi Jackson, who's gonna be a phenomenal player. Like
Mhm.
he was able to get the minutes that he needed to develop at a certain rate to get him to a point where we could use him as a good rotational piece for next year. Vince Williams is another guy. He was on a 2-way contract. He ended up getting a contract solidified after that once he proved himself.
Mhm.
So the wings we were looking for coming into this year, we now have because of these injuries. So it was kind of like a blessing in disguise.
Right.
These guys got to get valuable minutes, valuable playing time in the NBA. Um, and I think they'll fit right in when Ja comes back, when Dez comes back, when Marcus Smart comes back, when Jaren is fully healthy. The only thing we're really missing is a legitimate big to
Mhm.
go alongside Jaren Jackson. Um,
Yeah.
so from that standpoint, and we have a top 10 pick more than likely. We have a top 10 pick. We get a lottery pick. So we kind of like really cheated the system in a way. Like we have
Mhm.
a top 3 or 4, whether you want to debate it or not, like a top 3 or 4 team in the West, like hands down. When everybody's healthy, like these guys legit, they've showed it. They've shown it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
it's not like I'm just pulling this out of thin air. These guys have shown they're a top team in the West without that. So now we have a top 10 pick to add to that, and the guys that, found their game this year while the guys were hurt. So
Yeah.
I'm over the moon. Like I'm excited about next year as far as the Grizzlies go. Like I think we're gonna do some serious damage as long as everybody stay healthy. I want to add that in, of course.
Yeah.
Obviously, health permitting, we will be a force in the West next year. No debate about it. We will be in the top 3, top 4, and we will have a home court advantage first round. We will be there as long as we're healthy. Like that's just what it is. And
Yeah.
I
I
think
think
that's been forgot about.
I think that if I'm working in the front office for the Grizzlies, I want to take a hard look at um
Taylor Jenkins.
well, yeah. So I was going to start somewhere else, but let's start with that. Um when you have pieces, right? You have all of these pieces and all these great players that
Mhm.
have proven that they can play well together. Um Playoff basketball, the team that executes the best wins, right? It's not the team with the best players, it's the team with the best execution. And if you have if you have a superior team on paper, but you get out executed in the playoffs, that's either one or more of your players are being complete assholes on the court, or you have inferior coaching. And we know that we don't have complete assholes on the court. You know,
Right.
Marcus Smart kind of, he draws a line here and there, but he's not your best player, right?
Right.
So yeah, you got to take a look at Taylor Jenkins and say, is this the person that's going to be able to manage this roster and the lineups and the matchups to get the
Mhm.
team to execute, right? I don't think that you have it there. The other thing I would look at is the athletic trainers. Um, I refuse to believe that it's a coincidence that the injury history of the Memphis Grizzlies has been what it is over the past multiple seasons. Now I get,
Right.
Ja plays extremely hard, and
Mhm.
a player like that, is they're going to put their bodies at a higher risk of injury, especially as slight as he is. AI has similar issues. He
Mhm.
reminds me a lot of AI in terms of just how hard he plays.
Yeah, absolutely.
And AI dealt with issues, that his injury history led to the infamous, practice meme, right? Like we talk about practice, like he had to miss a lot of practices because he's healing, but he was always available for the games, right?
Absolutely.
But it caught up to him, right? It shortened his career, in my opinion. So with Ja, yeah, you're probably going to have that, but I refuse to believe that you had this many injuries happen to you all at once. I would take a hard look at that athletic trainer staff and figure out if there's something that they're not doing to keep these players, out off the injured list.
Agreed. Yeah, once again, I agree with that too as well. I think everything from a managerial standpoint has to be looked at when it comes to Memphis. Like,
Mhm.
because the talent is there, the core is there, the talent is there.
Mhm.
We'll see what happens in the draft. We'll see what transpires with that. But I'm not expecting anything less than a top three or four seed next year. Like, that's just, I know what these guys are capable of. They're a year older. They're hungry, coming off a very disappointing campaign this year. Everybody had to watch from the sidelines. And like I said, with the
Mhm.
new young guys integrated into those new guys, I mean, to the older guys playing, I see special things coming. And it's so frustrating because I hear all this face of the league shit being mentioned with Anthony Edwards, and it's like Ja is there. Like,
Right.
I know what Ja is capable of. I've been following Ja since I can remember Murray State. Like, I know what Ja is
Mhm.
capable of. I know what he's gonna bring to the table, and I'm just excited for the next step. As long as these guys stay healthy, I just want to keep reiterating that. Like,
Mhm.
as long as
Yep.
they stay healthy, the
Yep.
sky is the limit, man. I really do believe that. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a fan. I just know these guys play well together. And as I always say, Jaren Jackson is the wild card. Like, whatever he does is gonna determine the success of this team.
Yep.
I'm fully convinced of that. So, hopefully, and this is my dream. Hopefully, we get Donovan Clingan from UConn. It's a match made in heaven. I'm a UConn fan.
Right.
We need a
Yep.
big. He can be developed through the system in Memphis. Put him next to
Mhm.
Jaren Jackson. Let him develop, and to the other guys. They're still all in their mid to early 20s. Let them guys grow together, man, and build something special. So I do believe that's gonna happen.
I think it would not be a bad idea. You talk about Grizzlies needing a big. I think they should try to get Zubox from the Clippers
That
in
wouldn't
free
be bad
agency.
either. It wouldn't be bad either. I mean, we need somebody hard nose to get them rebounds, because Jaren Jackson, as we know, is not the best rebounder. He's pretty much a
Right.
finesse. He's like a finesse four. You know what I mean? He's a stretch
Mhm.
four. He plays
Right.
outside. He don't really want to do too much banging and
Yeah.
positioning for boards. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
bring in somebody that's gonna bruise somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Zubac
I've been
is
following.
a decent fit.
I've been keeping my eye on Zubox ever since he was with the Lakers. I was looking at him
Mhm.
play. I was like, okay, offensively, he's not polished, but high motor, great effort,
Yeah,
big body on defense, rebound
that's what we
machine.
need.
Like, this is a good, serviceable center, like an old school center that you can
Yes.
anchor in the paint and can anchor your defense around. Like, he's just a good, and he's also somebody that's not going to cost you a whole lot, because we know Memphis is going to have to pay Ja his money. They're going to have to pay
Mhm.
Desmond Bain his money. Like, so you're going to have to find
Well,
pieces that you
them
kind
them
of get
2
on a
already
budget.
paid. They already paid. So we just gotta, it's
Yeah,
all about
but we
the
know that's perpetuity, right? Like, you're going to have to continue to pay these guys,
right,
right?
right.
Which means, like, for example, you couldn't go out and get like an Anthony Davis or a Joel
Yeah.
Embiid, right? Like, you can't afford those guys. You got to have you a big, it's kind of on a budget, right? So,
Mhm. Yeah, I'm
but
I'm
yeah,
looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. Like that, I know you saw that post I put up not too long ago with the who would you take, RJ Barrett
oh
or
yeah,
Desmond Bain? Because we were
yeah.
me and
You
one.
kind of cooked me a little bit in that post.
I don't even remember what I said. I don't even remember what I said. But
You didn't cook me. You were cooking RJ. That's what it was. But
me and one was arguing, because that's how that came up, because we was going back and forth through text. He was saying
Mhm.
like RJ was better than one. I mean, than Desmond Bain. So we was going back and forth. He was like, "Nah, fuck that. Post it. Let's see what people say." So I was like, "All right, bet." So I posted it, and then the responses came in. So we had fun with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Desmond Bain. he's a guy that I just look forward to seeing develop more because he's developed so much since he's been with the franchise. Like, he came in
Yeah.
just a shooter, and
Right.
now, his nickname is Downhill Dez. Like, he gets to the
Mhm.
cup. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
he's another guy. Like, I've seen him grow so much, and I got so much confidence in him that he'll
Mhm.
make that next step, whatever that step is. He's already improved defensively. He's improved off the dribble, like I said. So
Yeah.
he's a guy. Him and John Morant, I have so much confidence in them in our backcourt. I always call them the best backcourt in the NBA. I don't care what nobody says. They play well together. I know Kyrie and Luka make that argument, but they're good
Luka's
individually.
not
I
a
don't think they
guard
play
though.
as
I
they
don't
put him
care
there.
what
They put
nobody
him
say.
there.
Like Luka's not a damn guard. Like so that
They
he's
put him
not
there though.
backcourt. I don't care. He's not a guard.
So
He's
I'm
not a
playing. I'm just
guard.
playing their game. But even saying that though, like Luka is individually a great player. Kyrie
Mhm.
is individually a great player. That don't necessarily mean they just feed off each other's game so well. They're both kind of like ISO players. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
so when it comes to
Yeah.
like playing the best backcourt basketball together, I think Ja Morant and Desmond Bain, like that's the highest order in the NBA to me. Like,
Yeah.
that's just how I feel, and
Yeah.
like, once again, that's just not because I'm a Memphis Grizzlies fan. I just feel like that for real. I think they play very well together. Their games complement each other very well.
Yeah, they do. And so this goes back to you have all these young guys, all these pieces, being able to fit them together in a way that generates wins and playoff series wins. That's really going to be the difference. I think
Mhm.
also, and to quote Charles Barkley again, everybody on your team can't have a green light, right? Like
Yes.
Ja's going to have a green light, Des is going to have a green light. It should end there. Like you can't have
Yes.
Triple J jacking up threes. Like that's not
Yeah.
that's not
We
a
don't need
winning
20
performance.
attempts a game from Triple J.
Right. Like that's not going to work. Right.
Yeah.
But what you could have is some really good pick and roll action, right?
Mhm.
Some pick and pops, creating shots, um, you know, dribble penetration, all that stuff, like all the old school fundamental stuff that if Danny Hurley were there, he'd be teaching them to do, right? Like
Shout out to
just
Danny Hurley. Shout
shout out
out.
to Danny Hurley, man. It just shows fundamentals still win championships, right?
Mhm.
Um, so again, yeah, you've got to take a hard look at whether you've got the person on the bench is going to be able to get you playoff series wins with that roster. So
Yeah, I just love the direction, man. Like I said, with
mhm.
Gigi Jackson and Vince Williams, those are the two guys. I promise y'all. Like, if anybody's listening to me, please, man, be on the lookout for Gigi Jackson and Vince Williams. Those two guys are gonna be very, very good wings on a very successful team very soon.
Mhm.
So
Yep,
you will be seeing that. Um,
sure.
but Memphis is back, man. That's all I gotta say, man. We back. We back next year, man. All you niggas have forgotten, crowning Anthony Edwards the face of the NBA and all this shit. We're gonna see about it next year. And y'all don't forget, Ja Morant is up 1-0 on Ant Edwards in the series. Like, I didn't forget about 2 years ago. I don't give a damn if y'all want to say Ant was 21 or 20 years old. I don't care. Ja beat him in the series. We gonna see what happens moving forward. Y'all forget when niggas get injured and all that, but we gonna see what's up next year.
Yep.
But yeah, the Knicks is whooping ass, man, and
Yeah, Philly's trying to make a game of it. They're down 12, but I don't see it happening. But we'll see.
yeah. So what me and Ben gonna do, we're gonna sign off, and this has
Oh
been a
yeah,
barring, aside from the bullshit. I don't know what's going on with the stream. I have to figure that out on my personal time. This is a dope episode, man. NBA playoffs in full effect. Go watch the rest of this Knicks game till I fall asleep. You know what I mean?
yep,
Or the gang gonna be watching me.
yep.
But Ben, man, another good week, man. What you looking for? What you looking like for next week, next Thursday?
I should be good for next Thursday. I ain't got a lot going on.
Oh,
My
there you have
birthday's Sunday, so I got some people coming to the house this weekend, and I'm gonna have some me
good,
time. I'm gonna go away, have a little me time, then I'll be back at work. But yeah, Thursday we should be good.
good times, man. Happy birthday in advance. I'll hit you up
Appreciate it.
anyway, man. But
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, another week, another success. We'll be back next Thursday to preview. Well, it'll be in round 2 by then, but give some analysis on them games, man. And whoever, like I say this shit every week, and I keep putting the offer out there. All you niggas with these stupid ass takes, just pull up, man. We good guys here, man. It's a safe place. I promise you, man. You know, you can get your bullshit off, and we'll dispute it or we'll agree. You never know. The shit you might say, the dumb shit you say, we might, whatever. But yeah, we'll be back next Thursday. Fly Free Sports, man. Like, share, subscribe, all the above, man. Another week successful. Ben.
Yep.
We out, man.
Peace.